This is the live podcast with Manuel, living in full expression. Most of us treat gratitude like it needs an occasion, a wedding toast, a retirement speech, a eulogy. We wait for the right moment to tell someone what they mean to us, as if the feeling needs permission to be spoken out loud. But the people who have actually carried you through your hardest seasons are not waiting for a toast. They are waiting for a phone call, a conversation. The uncomfortable truth is that the relationship holding your life together are really the ones getting recognized. And the ones getting recognized really need it. Living in full expression means seeing clearly who has shaped you and having the courage to say so before the moment convinces you it's not necessary. Welcome to the Life Podcast with me, your host, Manuel. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of gratitude. So I want you to picture this. You're sitting in a packed auditorium and your pastor or your leader or your spiritual leader asked everyone to stand up, walk across the room and hold the hands of the one person who has impacted them the most in a way they didn't expect. People start moving. Some are swarmed. 2, 3, 4 people converging on the same person. And then there are others, people you would call successful, wealthy, admired, people with real influence in that room. Everyone walk past them. Nobody moves towards them at all. This actually happened to a friend of mine last week. And what she told me afterward made me rethink everything I thought I understood about impact, about connection, and about the people I have never properly thanked. And in this episode, I'm going to share that with you today. So if you're ready, let's get started. We are the most connected generation that has ever lived, and somehow the most starved for real acknowledgement. Think about your phone right now. The notifications, the messages, the likes, the comments, a constant stream telling you that you are seen, that you matter, that people are thinking about you. And yet, when was the last time someone told you out loud in real words exactly how you changed their lives? Here's the pattern I want you to notice. The internet and now AI are extremely good at creating the feeling of being connected. A like feels like acknowledgement. A comment feels like intimacy. A notification feels like someone thought of you. But feeling connected and being known are two completely different things. And we have quietly let the first one replace the second. So here's an image I want you to hold on to for the rest of this episode. Every building has two kinds of walls. There are decorative walls, the ones with the art, the accent color, the features everyone comments on when they walk into the room. And then there are load-bearing walls, very plain, unremarkable, rarely mentioned, but remove one of those and the whole structure comes down. Every life is built the same way. You have decorative relationships, the ones that get the applause, the tags, the public praise, and you have load-bearing relationships, the people who never asked for recognition, who just kept showing up, kept calling, kept praying, kept being there, while you built everything on top of them without ever pointing at that wall. This episode is about identifying your load-bearing walls. Those relationships that matters, those vital relationships that have been holding you together, and doing something almost nobody does, telling them before life gets busy again and the moment closes, or even before it gets too late, for you to share that with them. So let me tell you the full story of what informed this episode. Last week, I was going through a personal reflection, just thinking about my life, the people I've met, the ones who have stayed, and those who have made some impact in my life. And one person, apart from my wife, kept coming to mind above almost everyone else. We've had our differences over the years, but it's undeniable how consistently we've shown up for each other in hard seasons. And I had this simple, almost embarrassingly smile thought. I need to call her and say thank you. It felt awkward, actually, but I had to do it. So I put a call across to her. After the pleasantries, I paused and I said it plainly. I know we've all been busy with life, but I just wanted to call and say thank you for your friendship. Thank you for the way you've shown up for me, even in the small things. There was a pause on the other end. I could hear the surprise in her voice. I don't think she was expecting that call or that reason for it. Then she said, thank you. Thank you for your friendship too, and for being patient with me. And then she told me something that had happened at her church that same week. So her pastor stood up during the service and had asked the congregation to do something. He asked them to go and hold the hand of someone in the room who had impacted them in a way they didn't expect. Not planned, not rehearsed, just walked to them. So people started moving across the auditorium. Some people had 2, 3, 4 hands reaching for them at once. She was sitting in the front row, watching this unfold. And suddenly, a woman from her cell group walked straight to her and took her hands. So she told me she was genuinely surprised because in that same room, there were some of the wealthiest, most visible, accomplished members of the congregation, people she personally knew. These people had real influence and resources. And to her shock, nobody walked to them. Some of them, she said, started to look visibly uncomfortable as the room moved around them. Then the pastor asked everyone holding a hand to say out loud on the microphone exactly how that person had impacted them. One by one, people spoke. And the room, she said, became emotionally charged. People were moved to tears hearing what they meant to someone else, often for the things they didn't even realize they've done. And while all of this was happening, my friend told me that she sat there wondering, what have I actually done for this particular woman who is holding my hand? This woman serves in the presidency. She had access, visibility, everything that looks like impact from the outside. Then it was the woman's turn to speak, and what she said brought my friend to tears. She said that as a member of my friend's cell group, my friend would regularly call them together just to pray. An hour at a time. Nothing dramatic, no agenda beyond seeking God together. And after every single one of those prayer times, she said she would leave feeling so charged up, so restored that she was ready to go take on whatsoever she called her next Goliath. My friend was stunned because to her, that wasn't a strategy, that wasn't a program she built. She simply loves God, loves to pray, and had gathered people to do the thing she genuinely loved doing. Never once thought of it as an impact. She thought of it as Tuesday, just a regular thing she does because she loves praying. I've known her over some years now, and I know she loves praying. And just few days after that, I had just called her again to thank her for being my friend. I think about this constantly now. In a previous episode, I talked about how my wife had gone out of her way to return a parcel that was delivered to our address, to the right address, under the rain. She never had to do so, but she did it. And coincidentally or surprisingly, she saw a delivery man with her own parcel that he was about to return to the depot because he couldn't locate our address. The pattern is the same every time. The moment that actually moves people are really the moment we think are worth mentioning. I want to do something with you right now. I want to ask you some questions, not rhetorical ones. I mean, real questions. So I wanted to find a moment where you can actually sit with this, not just to listen past it. And I'm going to take it layer after layer. And I want you to be honest with these questions and be able to answer them from your heart. Now, the layer number one is what I call the surface awareness. Who is the person in your life who has consistently shown up for you in ways so ordinary you almost don't count them? I want you to think about that. I don't mean the person who gets the big gift or the dramatic gestures for you. I mean the one who just kept calling, kept checking in on you, kept being there. Sit with that name for a second before you move on. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. When was the last time you told them exactly what they mean to you? In words, I mean out loud. Not what you think the answer should be. I mean, what do you actually feel when you ask that question? Is there discomfort there? A little guilt? A little surprise at how long it's been? If the honest answer is uncomfortable, that is not weakness. It's actually data. Layer number two. I call this the root identification. So here's where I want to go deeper with you. The question now is, why haven't you told them already? Not the practical answer like you've been busy. I mean the real one. Somewhere you learned a story about gratitude. Maybe it was that saying thank you need a big occasion for it to be valid. Maybe it was that expressing appreciation out loud feels vulnerable, often soft. Maybe you learned that if someone truly matters to you, they should already know it without you having to say it. Where did you first learn that version of the story? But not the exact date. But when did you first absorb the idea that saying this out loud wasn't necessary or wasn't your job to do so? Whatever just came up for you, that is exactly where we need to go. I mean, that belief was probably informed to protect you from something, maybe awkwardness, rejection, feeling exposed. It made sense once. It may not be serving you right now. Now let's look at layer number three, and I call this separation and reorientation. Now here's the distinction that matters most. That belief is a story you inherited. It is not a fact about how relationships actually work. So I want to ask you, what evidence do you already have that the opposite is true? Think about how my friend responded to that phone call. Think about how the room responded when people spoke their gratitude out loud in that church. Not what you hope might happen if you told someone what they mean to you. What has actually happened in your own life when someone told you? If you're honest, it probably didn't feel like a big production. It probably felt like relief, like being seen, like something settling in your chest rather than something dramatic happening at all. So here's the real question. What is it actually costing you to stay quiet? And what would it cost you to pick up the phone this week to make the call or schedule a conversation with that person? Whatever shifted in you just now, that's the thing we're building the rest of this episode on. You don't know who the person is. You have a sense of why you've stayed quiet. And you have evidence that speaking up costs far less than you've been telling yourself. So the next step is turning that into something you actually do this week and not just something you felt during a podcast. Now, here's how you actually do something with what just came up for you. So I'm going to give you 3 steps. Simple on purpose. Because this isn't about a grand gesture. It's about the same thing my friend did without even trying. And that's consistency, spoken out loud. So here's step number 1. Name 3 people, not 10, just 3. Write down the names of 3 people who have been load-bearing in your life. The ones holding something up that you've stopped noticing because they've never made noise about it. Number 2, identify the ordinary thing. For each name, write down the specific, unremarkable thing they actually do. Not the big gesture you'd expect. I mean the Tuesday things, the things that seem ordinary, the consistent thing, the thing they would probably shrug off if you mention it. Now, let's look at number 3, the 24-hour rule. So this is what you're going to do. Once you've named this, you have 24 hours to reach out to them. Not a text, I mean a call or a conversation in person. Say it plainly the way I did. Thank you for this specific thing. It has mattered more than you know. That's it. No script needed beyond honesty. The specificity is what makes it land. Not thank you for everything, but naming the actual thing. The way the woman named the prayer calls. And if you want to go deeper than this episode allows, this week's premium workbook walks you through identifying your full load-bearing walls list and building the exact words you will use so that nothing gets lost between the insight and the action. So in closing, there are 3 things to walk away with from this episode. Number 1, the people who hold your life together are rarely asking for recognition, which is exactly why they need to hear it from you first. Number 2, impact is not measured by visibility, it is measured by consistency. Often in the moment nobody thought to film it. Number 3, full expression is not only about what you build, it includes the courage to go back and thank the people who made the building. If this episode named something for you, go do something with it this week. Not next week, not next month, I mean this week. Grab the load-bearing walls worksheet in the show notes if you want to take this further in writing. And if this episode moves something in you, share it with the one person you thought of during the segment number 3. Let them know why you sent it. Because living in full expression isn't only about what you build, it's about who you go back and thank on the way. So go hold someone's hands this week. This has been the Life Podcast with me, your host, Manuel. And until I come your way in our next episode, keep living in full expression.